Yeah, all I've ever wanted was a bag. Fuck a rehab, I'm addicted to the cash. Drop the top on the foreign and make all these haters.
Peace, family. Welcome to our first edition, our first episode of Uncensored True Podcast with your brother Oh God and
your brother Sam Ant from Viral Hip Hop News. What it do? Uncensored Truth. We are in the building, man. This feels dope, bruh.
Yes, sir, man.
Dope, man.
Finally here, finally putting it together.
Yes, sir.
And finally about to give y'all something real raw. You know, we really just put this together, out of, necessity. We do a lot of news stories and we really don't get to give our, perspective too much. So we figured that, we will come together, put our resources together and give y'all a very, very dope product, uncensored truth.
Yeah, man, we hope that all audiences, all our subscribers from Hip Hop News, Uncensored, and Viral Hip Hop News, please show your support and jump over the Uncensored Truth, man, where we giving you raw, we giving it to you real, we giving it to you uncensored, and we giving it to you from a perspective that we come from, a perspective that y'all respect, and we ain't gonna give no shortcuts, we ain't gonna sugarcoat a damn thing, we're gonna give it to y'all raw, man, and we hope y'all enjoy for real, man. It's gonna be dope, man.
Yes, sir. So let's get into our first topic. We both have done, numerous stories on Meek Mill, and we know first and foremost going back. Well, we had some new developments, but going back, Meek Mill was, tried, for supposedly having some guns and like some drugs. It was so long ago, and we know that even back then, a new finding came out that one of the police officers was like on the list of like bad corrupt cops in the city. So that's one thing. The other thing is with the Judge Brinkley, continuing to pester the hound Meek Mill, almost to ad nauseum. So we do the videos and they're like 2 or 3 minutes long, but I actually want to speak on it like, yo, this shit's fucked up at the end of the day.
Facts.
You know what I mean? This shit's crazy to think like 10 years for somebody having a gun like in one of the worst cities in the world. Like, come on, man. I'll let you go ahead and give your perspective on that.
It's honestly, it just shit seems real petty, to be honest with you. You've seen things in the law and judicial system be thrown away on way lesser occasion, you know what I mean, than what Meek Mill has done. You've seen things get thrown out. We've seen people do murder. We've seen people do way more egregious crime than what he's done. And yet this man sits in jail, losing money, losing time away from his family for a gun charge 10 years ago, riding a dirt bike in New York.
Facts.
And what else did he do? Well, disturbing the peace somewhere to walk? What did he do?
Well, what happened was he, admittedly have a prescription drug painkiller problem,
okay,
which he spoke about on Power 99, and he snuck and went to a rehab.
Okay, so he went to rehab. He tried to get himself together. He tried to get himself fixed, which is another epidemic out here in the world that we need to address, and we will later on in the conversation. But to get back onto Meek Mill, it's real sad and unfortunate to have this brother sitting in jail right now, and then we have all of these little rinks and kinkles with the Judge Brinkley allegedly going on and bribing him, so to speak, to get on one of her artists or feature on one of her artists' mixtapes or songs or things like that. Charlie Mack was thrown into the occasion and he was thrown under the mud, and that wasn't fair because Charlie Mack's a real good dude, real good brother, does a lot for the city of Philadelphia, does a lot for the artists out there in Philadelphia, and for his name to be thrown out to be an ex-con and things like that, those aren't true. So that needs to be addressed right now. He is not an ex-con. He had artists singing in front of Obama and other things like that. He's real dope for the community. So for anybody to be involved with Charlie Mack, that should be no strike on their record by no degree. Understand what I'm saying? So with that said, yeah, man, Meek Mill, free Meek, period. You understand what I'm saying? Free motherfucking Meek Mill. That's it.
Word. So yeah, we're gonna definitely, continue to push that cause. And shout out to Amelly also and all the rappers out in Philly. Let's come together and make Philly like Atlanta. I know it ain't gonna happen, but
wouldn't that be dope?
It would be.
You know what I mean? You had Outkast, you had Jeezy, you know what I mean? All these people out there that came together and supported one another. Now they on top eating and still support one another. They might have had their little beefs or whatever, but we ain't never hear about them too crazy. They always got that shit together.
Yes, sir. But let's talk about this though, this drug epidemic, which I think is the elephant in the room. Matter of fact, it was an article that came out today that said that hip hop music is leading to kids experimenting with drugs. I got to pull an article up real quick because I actually got it through one of my alerts today. And the article said that hip hop music, that kids listening to hip hop music is actually influencing them to try drugs. Try drugs like Percocet. Try drugs like lean. And plants like marijuana. But speak on that for a minute while I pull up the article.
Well, it's funny that you say that because you have major labels that put major dollar to artists, to major rappers to perpetuate this kind of use, to perpetuate this kind, like i.e. your Future, who doesn't use it personally, but at the same time will throw out Molly Percocet all day long. You understand what I'm saying? Simply, and gain what? What did he get? Triple platinum off of that single or something like that? Like, yeah. The thing goes absolutely nuts, and he gets all this fame and recognition, only on the flip side of that to now be called the leading cause of a drug epidemic. But we're not going to how these drugs are being manufactured. We're not even going to how these drugs are being manufactured at such a young age in the school system with Ritalin. As soon as our kids run around and do what kids are supposed to motherfucking do, we say they got ADHD, and we give them drugs. And we set them up to get them right, prepped and ready for the major shit leading down the road. And then we blame it on rappers. I mean, come on with that shit, man. Y'all can say that. I mean, do you find an article? Because I love to hear that. The hypocrisy.
Yeah, well, see, the thing is, I mean, you know, with the whole, you could walk down the street if you go to your local Rite Aid, which you just brought up, a Walgreens. I'm starting to notice.
Yeah.
CVS is everywhere in our area on the East Coast. Prescription drugs are readily available. You can just go to your doctor and pretty much walk in there and get almost anything you want at this point. So the thing is that what I say, and I just did a dope interview with a rapper, Zay Marley, right here out of the Ville, Jersey.
Shout out to Zay. What up?
Yes, sir. And we spoke about, you know, drug use and, you know, in hip hop and drug promotion in hip hop. And some of these dudes are actually on drugs. We just talked about Lil Wayne taking a picture with Gucci Mane.
Yeah, man.
And him, you know, still with that double cup. Now I don't know what was in the cup. Neither do you. But
we know it was in that motherfucking cup. We know it was in that motherfucking cup. And Weezy had he was cool. We're not giving a fuck on letting us know what was in that motherfucking cup. We all know what that means, man. Come on with that shit, man.
Right.
We all know.
Right. So the thing is like these dudes is really battling with it, and you know, some of these dudes ain't gonna stop. You had a lot of rappers who have died. I know people personally who have died from drug cartels, and a lot of times it's not just one thing. A lot of guys is, you know, mixing alcohol, they're mixing Molly, all these different type of you know, drugs that are just, you know, wiping out. So there's a responsibility that I think goes around. The rappers take a certain responsibility, society, and the parents also.
Yeah, I mean, it goes all of those ways. It goes hand in hand. You have victims out here. I mean, we like to critique a lot of these rappers. We like to talk shit on a lot of these rappers, and we gain a lot of notoriety from doing that. But at the same time, they're people too, and they do deal with a lot of shit. You know what I mean? You have people critiquing you. Like I said, you got the people coming at you every which way for your financial responsibilities. It's just a whole bunch of shit that these artists deal with. And there's demons inside, and like I said, it's so easily accessible to gain these kind of drugs, especially when you're in fame. They get their hands on whatever the fuck they want to get in on, you know what I mean? So for that to be so easily accessible, and for them not to have the right circle behind them, I don't want to even say the right circle, just the right structure. They're trying to tell them, now y'all gotta stay the fuck away from that, man. It's sad, you know what I mean? Right. You can't blame them at the end of the day for wanting to go and get help. Like you said, Meek Mill got in that little bit of shit for going to a rehab. Shout out to him for doing that, because you don't see a lot of people doing that. You had Wayne that had multiple seizures.
Yeah.
You feel me? And still got the cup in his hand. So we ain't out here, you know what I mean, trying to clown Wayne for that. We just trying to shed light on something that's real sad and needs to be addressed out here in the hip hop community, which is drug use among the artists. And then disintegrating and breaking down in front of our eyes. We've seen Rick Ross. You know what I mean? Shed light on that. Rick Ross going to jail.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me, not going to jail, going into the hospital. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Rick Ross, which was a lot of conflicting stories. TMZ first broke the story to say that Rick Ross, you know, was foaming at the mouth, had chest palpitations or something, breathing, had all the type of shit, crazy shit. Man. You know what I mean? It made it seem like, you know, he was on his way out. There was even a report that came out that said that he, you know, was on life support. And then, you know, Fat Trell, you know, which I broke on Hip Hop News Uncensored. I seen an Instagram post. which is a DC rapper, dope too, said that he talked to Ross and Ross was good. So it was like, what are they trying to hide? We were just talking about that in the car. What do you think they're trying to hide with that whole situation?
Well, I mean, trying to hide, that's a real... What would they be trying to hide exactly? We heard reports allegedly in the beginning that he had pneumonia. Then he was on life support fighting for his life with lungs in his heart. You know what I mean? Having machines to keep these things going and what have you. Then we had Big Trail come out and say what he said. Then we had stories that his family wasn't even there. He wasn't even in the hospital. He's getting cloned. We have all this shit. Why can't this brother had just been really sick?
Right.
And been in the motherfucking hospital? I don't understand. Why's it gotta always be something now? I always know that there's two sides to every story, and that shit does happen out here that are right in front of us. That, you know what I mean? It's some funny shit going on. To be, you know what I mean? To be perfectly honest with you, but at the end of the day, why couldn't this brother just be sick? He has had a history of having situations where he's found himself in a hospital. He had that siege at the Super Bowl a couple years back. You know what I mean? So he had situations where his health has gotten on him. So why couldn't that brother have just been in the motherfucking hospital? I just don't understand it. No, we haven't heard anything from Ross yet. You know what I mean? We've seen a little bling on Instagram. You know what I mean? And him showing what he showed. And shout out to him. We hope he's doing well out here. Shout out Ross. But yeah, I don't know. It's a lot of conflicting stories.
Do you think it was a publicity stunt on the behalf of Rick Ross? I heard that rumor.
Publicity stunt. So let's see why it would be a publicity stunt. Is he promoting an album?
I'm not sure. I don't think so. No.
Did he have publicity stunts prior to the last album? That was a dope album, might I add. Shit was dope.
I don't know if he did, but I know rappers that do. Rappers that have admitted it.
It happens.
Yes.
It definitely happens.
Yes.
But why couldn't this big motherfucker just been sick? And fucked up. I mean, we didn't have this conversation about Wayne. When Wayne had them seizures a couple months back, and we had shout out to Wayne, and we hoped everything was okay. That motherfucker legitimately had seizures. He was sick. We knew why. Ross really ain't in a different situation. He might have a different repertoire on what he does, but he really ain't no different situation. He got some shit that he got to fix up too with his health. You know what
Rick
I mean?
Ross, do you think that he's on drugs? You think that drugs is caused? I also seen that. You know, matter of fact, on my Facebook page, it was like, yeah, like we don't have mercy on him. He's on drugs. He's getting what he deserves.
We shouldn't have mercy on him.
That's what the lady said. I could pull up the comment.
We shouldn't have mercy on him because he's on drugs. Now, you could think what you want about an artist. You could think what you want about how he's getting off. We know William Roberts ain't really Rick motherfucking Ross. We know this. Okay, but we still buy his albums. We still support him. And we still don't want to see him fucking die. At the end of the day, I don't want to see another brother die.
You don't? 50 did.
So
50 said,
and you know what?
If he dies, he dies.
He ain't said. He just put Drago up there.
He said it.
He made it well and clear.
Okay, insinuated.
And you know what? And shout out to 50 for being who the fuck he is. He's real about it. If that's how he feel. That's how he feel.
Word.
I'm pro-life. I don't want to see nobody go. I don't got hate toward nobody for having somebody die like that. That's just not. This is me. You know what I mean? Y'all can think what y'all want. I don't hate him enough for him to fake that his name is Rick Ross and to be a corrections officer. I don't hate him that bad to see that man want to die. I still listen to his music. I still buy his records. I still feed into the whatever the fuck it is that is Rick Ross. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I don't want to see that brother go nowhere. And I do think he was legitimately sick. And could it be drug use like you alluded to? I'm not there. I don't know.
Right.
But yeah, why not?
Right.
He's dabbled into things. We don't know what these stars are doing and what they're getting into. He has something in his health that needs to be fixed.
Well, nigga, get your ass healthy, nigga.
Facts.
You know what I mean? That's all we saying.
And we all got to get healthy in the black community, man. We all got things that we need to address. And we'll get into that because I'm definitely an advocate vegan. I ain't going to throw that out there and perpetuate it too crazy, but I eat right. It ain't no bones about that. And we will talk about that. But to get into the drug epidemic, and we talked about Meek, we talked about Ross. Let's throw in Nicki Minaj. Let's talk about Nicki a little bit because you talked about her a little bit on Hip Hop News Uncensored. Dope piece. Shout out to you on that one.
Yes, sir.
But you alluded to, was she on Percocets? Was she on rehab for Percocets? And we haven't seen her in a couple months. She had a little bit of a little public appearance yesterday at Jay-Z and Beyonce's concert. Not Jay-Z and Beyonce's concert. They had a show yesterday, or they did like a club release yesterday. And she showed her face. That was on Instagram.
Okay, dope.
But what do you think about Nicki Minaj, man? What's going on with her?
First of all, I love Nicki Minaj, man. I think,
you sound a little, I mean, you love what you guys are. Oh, this nigga, what you I love.
I mean, Nicki, it is what it is.
I love it.
You know? But as far as the story, it's just a rumor at the end of the day. Nobody knows if it's true. But there has been rumors that came out of her camp that will suggest that she, is in rehab. And that's the reason why she's, falling back, and that's cool. Get yourself together. I think that's a good thing.
Well, my question would be to the people who think that would be false is why now would she go into hiding giving the rise and the eruption of Cardi B. You got Cardi B out here going crazy. You got the rumors and the questions on whether or not y'all beefing, whether or not y'all cool. She out here dropping single after single. People waiting. She taking that crown, man.
Yep.
But, you know what I mean? Say, we'll talk about it. Yeah, load up again. There it is. But yeah, man, we got Cardi B taking the fuck over out here in this rap game. And nobody got an answer for her. That she's taking the fuck over. Now, you got Nicki as being the only one, really. I mean, we got Remy as being the lyricist. We got a lot of different other female artists. But Nicki is the one is going to take that back. And we don't hear from her, man. So why else? Why else would it be?
Right. Well, you know, it remains to be seen. We're just starting our podcast, so we're about a week late, but we still going to tear this shit up. Now, I told you that I kind of, you know, I was kind of with the panel on that. When I mean the panel, I mean Charlamagne and Angela Yee and DJ Envy. Everybody else forgets his name for some reason, even though I like Envy.
Word.
You know what I mean? And DJ Envy, and they was kind of like, what have you done lately? You know, Monique. So, you know, what do you think about that interview? Because, you know, I kind of do agree with them to a certain extent. But I do think that was a spit in Monique's face, and excuse my language, to offer her $500,000. That was disrespectful.
That was disrespectful to the highest degree. This woman has won Oscar. Now, she's been called a headache, but any black person or any black woman that wants what they deserve is a headache, I mean, I think that's unfair to say. I think that we need to look a little deeper into that. Now, she may be a pain in the ass, but a lot of women are. A lot of men are. It is what it is. They want what they want. You cannot be mad at that. Now, my argument or my one thing I say to Monique is if you're not getting what you want, stop crying for equality when you are looking for or you're claiming superiority. Go do for yourself. Now, that being said, $500,000 was ridiculous. And this is a what can you do for me lately kind of league and kind of genre and kind of generation. But my argument into that is that I'm not quite sure. I'm not 1,000%. But what was Dave Chappelle coming off of when he got his Netflix deal? He didn't have a movie. He didn't have any real comedy special. He had the Chappelle, you know what I mean?
How many shows did Dave Chappelle do?
Dave Chappelle smashed.
Right.
Dave Chappelle smashed.
Right.
Dave Chappelle was a legend. Everyone remembered him from the Chappelle show. But then Dave Chappelle vanished and no one heard from him until we get this Netflix special. So how does he go into seclusion for all these years and demand this dollar, which he deserves?
But didn't, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't they offering him a big deal? Somebody was offering him a big deal before he went away. Wasn't I not mistaken? Wasn't being offered a big deal, but he turned it down.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right before he dipped off and seeked righteousness or whatever the fuck he went out there to do.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
Right.
he'll even admit that was a dumb fucking idea, a dumb decision. And I mean, that's even a would you turn down all that money to keep doing what he was doing on the Chappelle show? Were you a fan of the Chappelle show? I know we never really talked about that.
I never really watched it, man.
Okay.
To be honest with you.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't like I wasn't a fan. I just never got into it. I heard like the hype around it.
Shit was funny as hell.
It just wasn't really my thing, man. I'm
Right.
not really a comedy type of dude. Now, I just seen one that I was going to tell you about, the Marlon Wayans on Netflix. He's a funny motherfucker.
You like that?
Yeah, Marlon's a funny motherfucker.
Now, I was watching a little bit of that too, and I thought he stretched a little bit. I thought he was seeking a little bit, but
Marlon
it was
was
funny.
going in.
You thought Marlon was funny? You're not the only one that said that. I'm Marlon
Yeah.
Wayans. It was cool. I'm a Marlon Wayans fan. I was listening, and all them brothers are funny, man. The Wayans
Is
brothers
Kevin
are
Hart funny, you think?
It's Kevin Hart funny. Kevin Hart used to be one of my favorite comedians out there, and I would be a Kevin Hart advocate in the beginning. You know what I mean? When he was in Soul Plane and he started off in the beginning,
Right.
And I watched him in a Brigada. You know what I mean? When he was in a real small venue in a humble beginnings, and he tore it up. He was funny as hell.
Right.
I think as his brand grew and as he began to just take over the game of comedy, whether you like him or not, I think that his stuff began to get a little watered down.
Wow.
You know what I mean? But I think when you're at the top of the game, you're always going to get criticism. You're going to always, when you're at the top, people are going to criticize you the most. You know what I mean? So when we hear we hear people criticize Kevin Hart, it's probably because he's at the top of his game right now. But we never heard this about Eddie. We never heard this about Richard. We never heard this about the other comedians in the game. But they never also, to his credit, tore it up the way he is right now when it comes to box office and numbers and bread.
What do you think about the Martin reboot? Now, let me say what I got to say real quick before I let you go. I think it's gonna be ass. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I think it's just stupid to be clear. I'm not being a hater or nothing. I love the show. I mean, I grew up on the show. That show is me.
Yeah.
Martin is me. Like if I watch those old episodes of Martin right now, man, like I will be back in like the spot I was back in '97. I think. I think it was '90s. Probably. But anyway, yeah, like yo. So I don't know, man. Tommy ain't there. He's gone. Cole was just ripping Martin. It was a few years back, but he ripped Martin. Talked about how Martin was pretty much fake. Talked about, how, that's what he said pretty much. Like when the cameras come on, to a certain extent, everybody puts a persona on the camera. I mean, that's just what it is. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't think it's going to be good at all, man. You know what I'm saying?
Honestly speaking, man, I'm excited about the thought of the reboot, getting them all back together. It's like a family reunion. Like you said, as soon as you see them back on, it's going to be like a reminisce back to 90. I think they started 94, 95, honestly. A while ago.
Somewhere around there, yeah.
And it's going to be dope. And I've done a lot about this on Viral Hip Hop News, and I said that if they were to do a reboot, the only way to really properly do Tommy justice is if we're honest about it and said that he passed away. His character's name was Tommy. His real name was Tommy. You could say that he passed away within that show. It was a number of years ago, and pay homage to him in the right way. Give out his punchlines every now and again. But like you said, will it be ass now? We've seen a lot of reboots be done, and I haven't seen any of them be good. So it doesn't look good for it. The excitement is there. I'm going to look forward to seeing it. But like you said, even Carl Anthony Payne, he talked shit on Martin and dragged him through the mud. So we know how they really feel. So if they come back, it's merely on numbers alone. So I mean, it's just it's.
I know, but then I'm thinking you got Pam, you still got Martin, you still got Gina, and you got Cole.
Martin's gonna have to redo all the characters. He's gonna have to get back in them roles. He's gonna have to do Jerome again. He's gonna have to do Black Belt Jones. Oh yeah,
Martin, my nigga, though.
Yeah, he's funny as hell.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to see Brown Man back. We're gonna have to see fucking Hustle Man back. We're gonna have to see,
Shanae.
Oh yeah. Well, he did Shanae.
That's another thing.
He did Shanae. I mean, y'all want to see Shanae back? I'm cool with seeing Shanae and Grandma can keep their ass. Grandma could have passed away too. With Mama Payne, God rest her soul, she could have went.
That's crazy.
And Shanae's ass could have moved somewhere. Keep your ass where they at. But yeah, man,
lifestyle. But Jay-Z actually recently it was just announced that he just eclipsed Diddy.
Oh shit! In Forbes.
Yep. He just eclipsed Diddy, and he's worth $900 million right now. And really, him and Beyonce already together are already billionaires. Just to let y'all know, but Jay-Z is now worth 900, and he's probably going to pass that mark. I would say within the next 2 years, Jay-Z will be the first, I guess, official hip hop billionaire. What does that say for hip hop? 40 damn almost years in, we're just now about to get our first billionaire. And I also want to bring up the quote from Nipsey Hussle, and I'll read it. He said something real dope, but as you expound on it, I'll bring that quote Nipsey Hussle said about Jay-Z. Also, I want y'all to go to the website. It's hiphopun.com and check out our first official product we got on the market. Our own coffee roast right now.
Yes.
hiphopun.com right now. This is our product. Go check it out right now. You see it, and we got all types of different roasts. Yes. Hey.
Go get that.
Yes, sir. All right, so Nipsey Hussle, wrote on his Instagram about Jay-Z, and I just want to take my time to read this to the folks, to the family out there, cause it touched me. You know what I mean? And not on no emotional soft shit, but it's just like we gotta look at what Jay-Z is trying to do. What he's trying to do with Tidal, what he's doing with Rock Nation, what he was trying to do with Def Jam. You know what I mean? It's always, again, you gotta listen to what these dudes are saying. I listen to the music. We listen to music. We ain't just listening to the beat. I like the lyrical content. I'm not a mumble rapper, type of person. But Nipsey Hussle said, I look at hip hop and I don't see a vertical integrated brand other than Jay-Z owning Tidal, owning his masters, and owning everything in between it. Jay-Z owning Tidal was ahead of his time, and people still don't get it. You hear people taking shots saying he only has a few million users, but that's not even the point. That doesn't even matter. Even if he only had a fan base on Tidal, he's still vertically integrated, and the first, that's the power. He said, and he's the first, that's the power being directed to the consumer. He now exists outside of the current ecosystem, and there are so many revenue streams that these platforms are a part of. The subscription is just one of them. Obviously, he's talking about the monthly subscription service, right? He said, if you judge Jay-Z as a brand alone, technology aside, the ability to deliver within its own ecosystem is a powerful This is what he wrote. I'm not reading it wrong. He said it's a powerful. Then it's period. He doesn't have to play the game. He could be his own artist for real. And it's a little more here, but that's, you know, we get what he's saying.
Right.
With that, and when we look at Tidal, let's just look at Tidal. You talking about now? First and foremost, you got Tidal, you got Spotify, and Apple.
Right.
Spotify and Apple are the big boys, pretty much. Tidal's dope. I got Tidal.
I got Tidal as well.
I got rid of Apple. Like we got the computers, but
right.
When it comes to the music, I deal with Tidal.
I deal with
you know
Tidal.
What I mean?
Yep.
And Jay-Z actually did something genius because it was a promotion that they did. I forgot, it was like 6 months ago.
The 444 one.
The 444 promotion where they got people to try it out, and now we got it.
Yep.
You pay a couple more dollars a month, maybe.
Whatever.
Whatever.
I don't even know. What
you don't even know. Who cares? Right. It comes out.
Tidal's a shit.
You know, and this is his platform. So what he did was, again, we talk about owning our masters. We talk about distribution, which is another thing that we have to deal with. The music distribution, because Dame Dash actually touched on that. You know what I mean? When we tried to get our whole distribution together. But this is what Jay-Z's trying to, if you don't see it, if you don't see the genius of what he's doing, he's building something up that we can have for ourselves that's outside of what they got. They got Apple, we got Tidal. You know, when they had different clothing, Jay-Z, you know, he did his own clothing thing.
Sporting.
Liquor, sports management. You know, just management in general. You ain't got to be, you know, just and also and you know, the Breakfast Club clip that we both have, you know, posted on our channels for reference, where Jay-Z, you know, spoke about the reason why he actually did create them. And next time we will actually do a whole segment on that and play that clip.
We're gonna get into it in depth.
But I'm gonna get your opinion on that. Go ahead, brother.
It definitely depths into that what Nipsey Hussle said, and a lot of people, like you said, they don't really see the bigger picture. They don't understand what the fuck's going on. Everyone wants to criticize and not just take note. You understand what I'm saying? If everyone just took note of what he was doing, imagine what we would have. Black Wall Street all over again. Things would start beginning to happen in our favor, where we wouldn't have to complain. You wouldn't see a Monique situation in the cry. And I don't want to say the cry, but just the, you know what I mean? She's out here looking for acceptance or looking for deals. It wouldn't have to be that. And it wouldn't be none of that. It'd be writing her own. She would get what she felt like she deserved. Now, did she deserve the top is the Chappelle's and Chris Rock's? Hell no. But she deserved way more than $500,000. She would have that if we had a little more say. And that's what Jay-Z is just trying to do with your sporting agencies, with your titles, with your with all the different avenues, the closing lines, the different avenues he has going on right now, trying to give that blueprint, no pun intended, on how to really get this shit done. And he's definitely a mentor, and we take note of that here. Not trying to dick ride by any sense of the imagination, but if you got a brother out here doing this and setting the blueprint to make billions, y'all dumb as hell not to follow that. I mean, dumb
What
as hell.
Jay say in his song, they grass is greener because they always raking in more. You know what I mean?
Facts.
He talked about Prince. There's another thing. How Prince, you know, these rappers are just fighting, I mean, artists are just fighting for their own rights to music. Did they sit down on their computers most times in their studios and they create? They got to give, you know, 60-70% to some, you know, guy sitting up somewhere and who knows?
Not knowing nothing was going on.
Right.
Nothing. And I don't not even understand what the fuck you talking about. That's real.
So you see companies like Revolt, shout out to Diddy, This Is 50, you know, companies, you know, that are separate. Hip Hop News Uncensored, Viral Hip Hop News.
Word.
Yeah, we, you know, these are separate companies that we own. There's no corporate influence at all, you know, on it. So the more we have those, the more media companies, you know, that we have, the more better we're gonna be, because we have our own. We don't have to look per se to Hollywood. You got places called Bollywood. I think India. They created their own. Africa, South Africa, they got the people creating their own. Stop complaining and create your own. That's what Jay-Z did with Tidal. That's what he did with Rock Nation. That's what he did with Rockefeller. Look at Dame Dash, one of the most shrewd. We want to get you on the show too, Dame.
Facts.
We want to get you on Uncensored Truth podcast. One of the most shrewd businessmen out there. Like, they can't handle him. But we do got to talk about Dame, though.
Yeah, and we can't wait to have him on the show to talk to him in depth.
Yep.
Because we don't, both of us, we talk to about him in length, because he's definitely someone we look up to as well. But we have questions about his business. We have questions on how he does certain things, but nonetheless has gems and speaks facts. How you gonna be a boss to your kid when you answer to a boss? That's one of my favorite lines he ever said. How can you have your son look at you like a superhero when you got a boss? That shit woke me up to, man, I appreciate you, Dane, for that. That was one of the dopest interviews I ever heard. But yeah, we would definitely have him on here on Uncensored Truth. As you see, the set's popping, man.
Yes,
we
sir.
just getting started. Hip hop news, uncensored, viral hip hop news. The Uncensored Truth CEOs in the chairs, giving you raw, real, uncut perspective from where we come from, man. It's a blessing, bruh. I just want to thank you.
Sir.
Thank everyone out there, man. We about to take the fuck over. You already know, man.
You already know what it is. And we got the coffee blend. You got to get it right now. Real talk. Go on the website right now. I'll leave it in the description box of all the videos. hiphopun.com to get your our first original coffee blend. Also, we got some dope articles. A lot of people like to read. I like to read articles myself.
Too,
right. So, some articles over there for your perusal to check out, and make sure you definitely go check it out.
Facts. And y'all stay tuned for the next podcast on Uncensored Truth. We getting things popping. It'll be more to come. You know what I mean? We building.